As you can see behind me, it's a basketball court, and sometimes productivity can be like playing basketball. Why do I say this? Because a lot of times in productivity, we look, or productivity gurus talk a lot about scoring goals, right? Scoring as many basketball points as possible. But what they don't look at is the quality of the goals that are being scored. So today I wanted to talk to you about our myths towards productivity and 3 productivity things that you should not do to ensure that your effectiveness increases. So the first myth that we have towards productivity is that very often we look at the quantity of the work that is produced rather than the quality of the work. Now, there are 2 elements to productivity. Now, there is the quality aspect of the work, so the quality of the goal that you are striving towards, and then there is the quantity of the goal that you are producing. So let's say today you were a doctor, and a typical measure of productivity is how many patients you see and how quickly those measures are. If today you are a healthcare professional, you probably know that there's a certain number of minutes you have for each patient, and you can see the patient in that set time. But what that doesn't measure is the quality of the interactions with the patient. So for example, you might see tons of patients every day, but you might not actually have quality interactions with them. And so today, in thinking about productivity, we need to think of it as an XY axis with a quality and a quantity aspect to it, rather than looking solely at the quantity. So rather than just being more efficient, we also have to look at being more effective. Right now, I want to talk about the 3 productivity advices that you should not follow. Well, there are a lot of well-meaning productivity advices out there, and some of it does not work simply because they focus on the quantity aspect of the work without focusing on the quality aspect of productivity. Well, today, the first advice that is often given is the Pomodoro technique. Very often, this technique is focused on the 25-minute rule, whereby you time yourself for 25 minutes using an app or your watch, and then after that you rest for 5 minutes before going on another 25-minute sprint, and then resting for another 10 minutes again. I was a real fan of this technique because it helped me to focus, and I was for years recommending it to all my friends and even writing about it in blog articles. But last year, following the COVID pandemic, I realized that there was actually a better way. The reason the Pomodoro technique works is because it allows you to even start work. But what doesn't allow you is to sustain the deep work that is necessary for you to grow as a professional. In Cal Newport's great book, Deep Work, he talks about how you add deep value to your work. If you're constantly breaking up your work and your concentration time into 25-minute chunks, then it no longer allows you to get deeply vested and concentrated and in that state of flow. After all, if you are in that state of flow, then why would you want to stop it? Well, a better way is to actually schedule 90-minute sprints where you are allowed to have distraction-free chunks of time where you can focus and get into the zone. These 90-minute sprints are done in areas where there is no distraction. Put away your phones. Just take a cup of water. Ensure that you are not disturbed. And most importantly, know what you are working on. So before those 90-minute sprints, Shane Miller, the entrepreneur who introduced this to me, talks about how you write down what you're working on, then write down why you're working on it, thirdly write down the obstacles and how you might be able to overcome it, and then lastly, talk about why you're excited about working on it. So that would be a much better way of working towards your goals. The second productivity advice that is often touted is to use another app. Well, there are tons of productivity apps out there, and there's a reason why they are asking you to do it. Because the more you use your phone, the more distracted you are, the more money they earn. These apps don't come for free. And I'm not throwing out the baby with the bathwater and saying that all of these apps are useless. But very often when you put your phone with you, you end up getting distracted by the notifications, the messages, the likes that you get, the comments that you get. Every single thing comes in. How are you supposed to be distraction free and to focus on the quality of the work that you are doing? Well, a better way would be to focus on just putting your phone aside. Just take your phone out of the room and not work with it. This ensures that you work in a distraction-free environment so that you are able to focus deeply on your work. Advice that often comes from productivity gurus is to get another course, another book, or even another podcast. The danger of this is that very often this keeps us focused on the input without focusing on the output. Because yes, it's true that there's always another technique that we can optimize, another tool that we can use to be able to be more efficient. But this focus on productivity and process keeps us distracted from the ultimate priority. You've probably had this experience where you are working, but deep down there's a deep sense of insecurity as you think about what exactly you're working on or what exactly you are working towards. Without being clear about your priority, then it is not actually useful to be so productive because you are not sure what the end point is, what the goal is, and what your definition of success or done is. And so very often in thinking about productivity, it is important to define what your top priority is. Working on things one project at a time is often more useful than working on many different projects and not actually knowing where you are working towards. So today, to figure out what your top priority is, think through these questions. The first question is, what is the highest leverage thing that I can do at this moment in time? By high leverage, I am talking about what will you greatest output for you, greatest result. It might be financial, it might be emotional, it might be social, but you need to think about the highest leverage thing that you are doing and what the specific tasks are that will accomplish that. The next thing is to look at what is your definition of done. Define done. Very often we start off with priorities and projects without clear ideas of what the end point really looks like. And then it becomes tempting to just add another tool, another productivity toolkit to be more productive. So when you start defining done, then it starts being clear what your top priority is. Today, with these 3 productivity myths hacked, I hope that they will help you to be more productive in future.